Well, hello, Anthony. How are you doing today?
Hello, hello. Good morning. I'm doing fabulous. Beautiful day it is.
It is a fabulous and ever popular rest of the day. So, your last name is pronounced, bear with me here, Palazzolo?
That's pretty good. Yeah, Palazzolo.
Palazzolo, which is, of course, Italian for Hawaiian, Palazzolo.
There you go.
And then tell us the name of your company because you can pronounce it much better than I can.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so the name of our business is Aina Culture. Have it right here on the hat.
Oh,
Aina
excellent.
Culture.
Aina.
That's right. Aina means land in Hawaiian, and it's kind of a sacred way to say the land, that which provides. Basically, God provides for people through the Aina, not so much through corporations or Walmart or Costco or the grocery store. It's through the land. So you take care of the land will take care of you.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
it's also a little spin off the word or a play off the word agriculture. So everybody's familiar with agriculture. We are a certified organic farm. So we've kind of taken it to the next step, bring it to the heart, take it a little more roots Hawaiian style. Instead of agriculture, we're Aina culture.
Oh, I love it. So, before we get into a little bit about you personally and your background, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now with Aina Culture and the farm. You've got a turmeric farm, don't you, in the north part of Hawaii? Tell us about that.
That's right, yeah. So we've been running a certified organic regenerative farm in North Kohala, which is the northern tip of the Big Island. Very remote area of the Big Island. A lot of people that are familiar with Oahu and Waikiki and Honolulu, they're like, oh, Hawaii's so crowded and it's so built up. But you come to where we live and it's like going back 100, 200 years, and we really love it that way. But yes, we run a organic farm, North Kohala. We actually don't own the land, we lease land, and we've figured out how to take care of a family of 7. I've got 4 kids, my
Wow.
wife, and my mom as well. And we've figured out how to do it all through organic agriculture in probably the most expensive state in the world, Hawaii, on the most expensive real estate in the world. However, we don't own the real estate, we just lease the land. But the reason why we have temporarily moved to St. George, Utah to build out all of our distribution, we've done that strategically to basically not just be farmers that nobody knows about, but to take our product, which is right here, and it is a turmeric elixir. It's not a coffee, it's not a tea, it's an elixir. And it's very medicinal, and you're going to get the anti-inflammatory effects of it. And it's basically like a coffee alternative, but we're running all of our distribution for our product here in southern Utah. California's down the street, Colorado's next door, Arizona's right there. We're centrally located. I could get product to the East Coast within a day or two, and it's just
Yeah.
been a very strategic move for us. And it's a temporary move. We miss the Aina. We love the land. We are farmers. We got to get back to Hawaii. But right now, we're grateful to be on the mainland and talk to awesome people like you and connect with cool people.
Well, I'm glad we were able to meet up. How many acres do you have in Hawaii?
Yeah, so we've been running Aina culture on 2 acres.
Okay.
We go super hard on a little over an acre with our turmeric. And we've been able to do anywhere from 30 to roughly 50,000 pounds a year off 1 acre,
Wow.
which is really dense. It's very, it's a lot of production off of a very small space. A lot of people, when they hear about how much we produce and they see how much we produce, they think that we're running our farm on 20, 30 acres. And then when they hear that all of our production for the turmeric is around an acre, they're like, how is that possible? Well, the sky's not the limit, all things are possible. And if there's a will, there's a way.
That's great. Now, have you always been a turmeric farmer in Hawaii, or was there a time in your life when you actually did other things? Tell us a little bit more about you and how you
Yeah,
got started in this.
it's a great question. Yeah, so I am actually originally from California. I moved to Hawaii when I was a teenager in pursuit of professional surfing. And I pursued that all the way into my early 20s. And the reality with the surf industry and just being a paid athlete, you're really, to a degree, you're kind of a puppet for the industry. I didn't like that. And then also, I wasn't able to perform at that freakishly insane level that people perform nowadays, and definitely more of a soul surfer. Um, and I've just always loved nature. I've always loved the land. I've always, ever since I was a teenager in Hawaii, I'd be climbing coconut trees for a drink and also for some food. And I've always had this kind of deep relationship with Aina. You know, after a long surf session, I'm wanting to pick neighbors' avocado trees and their citrus trees, and again, you know, climb coconuts. So that's always been an intrinsic part of my lifestyle, and I've always just seen a lot of value in the land, and wanting to just be hands-on and just know where my food comes from. So basically, in my early 20s, at the tender age of 21, I started my first organic farm on leased land in Haleiwa. And right around that time, my peers were in college, and they were experiencing the world through that lens, whereas I was figuring out how to do organic agriculture and how to build stuff. And I built a cabin, I built an outside kitchen, and eventually I had built a bunch of very kind of quaint, nice little accommodations, and started having people from all over the world come, work on the land, learn. And by the time I was 22, I had that in, you know, fully happening. And it was all word of mouth. I wasn't advertising through social media wasn't huge at that time. That would have been like 2010-ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all word of mouth, and it was all super organic.
That's amazing. So when you were a surfer, weren't you down in around San Diego and Trestles and Dana Point and all those places like that?
Yeah, so you know, the surf industry is based out of Southern California, but the mecca of surfing is the North Shore of Hawaii,
Yeah.
of Oahu. And so I would spend all my winters surfing, training, doing the whole surf thing on the North Shore. And then in the summers, I would spend a lot of time in Southern California.
Okay.
The focal point of surfing in the summertime in Southern California would actually, I would say, would be like San Clemente, Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
Right in between the two, you've got Laguna. There's some nice novelty surf spots in that area, but it all is kind of focused on lower Trestles, which is at the end of San Clemente, and that's a very high performance wave, and they have prestigious surf contests, and that's where it kind of all goes down. So yeah, I'd spend a lot of summers in that area doing that thing.
Yeah, I've probably seen you out there. Those are all my old stomping grounds. You should know that I'm probably the world's worst surfer. However, I was an avid skimboarder, and I loved skimboarding. And I did that up until the time that I had this really obnoxious accident as I'm skimming along, the surface, and I didn't see the rock, and it flipped me probably 10 feet in the air. I landed on my left arm. It broke in a number of places.
Wow.
The lifeguard pulled me out, and they took me to the emergency room, and whereupon I was immediately informed by the chief engineer of domestic tranquility and medical care, my wife, that you're no longer going to be doing skimboarding, and so it got sold on eBay. So that was the end of my skimboarding career. But
I see. It's interesting because Laguna Beach is actually the most progressive place for skimboarding.
I love it.
Skimboarders in the world
Yeah.
come from Laguna Beach. There's a guy named Blair. I'm blanking on his last name. He's very popular. He's also a phenomenal surfer, but all of his origins are in skimboarding, and he's taken skimboarding to the next level. And it's all out of Laguna area, and there's just this interesting wedge that happens right on the shore, and guys are able to skim from the beach and make their way all the way to this shore break wave and turn around and ride it. And he's pretty much the best in the world at it. And he comes to Hawaii, and I've surfed pipeline with him. I've surfed a lot of different spots with him. He's super famous. He's got a huge social media following.
I think that's at Aliso Creek Beach, isn't it, in Laguna? So, yeah, I have crashed there many times. The last time was the last time, but that's great. So I want to know more about your turmeric elixir. Tell me a little bit about turmeric and why. What's the benefits for me to take it? And before we start, I do need to disclose that I have tried Anthony's elixir, and quite frankly, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was amazing. I could tell some performance differences within just a couple of days, and I mixed it with some honey, and I saw your wife at Farmer's Market the other day, and I slammed a sample there. This stuff is outstanding. So tell me a little bit more about turmeric, the health benefits, and everything that's in your elixir.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was never, to be completely honest with you, it was never my plan or agenda to create an elevated drink product. My vision has always been, I want to just live off the land, I want to farm, and I want to surf, and I don't want to do anything else. However, with my farming efforts, we have gone very big on our turmeric productions. Everybody in the organic food industry knows that the best quality turmeric in the world comes from Hawaii. It comes from certified organic turmeric in Hawaii. And just the balance of ample sunshine and rainfall and just the fertile soil that we have in Hawaii, it really lends itself to very superior turmeric that's very high in curcumin content. And curcumin is the anti-inflammatory compound that's in the turmeric. So to answer your question, I was working with a lot of athletes. Some of my really good friends are some of the best surfers in the world, and they'd come and spend some time on my farm, or I'd go from the Big Island to Oahu and go surf the North Shore, and I'd always bring big boxes of turmeric, and I would juice it, and I would make turmeric shots, and I'd make these really potent turmeric elixirs for everybody at the end of the day. You know, we're surfing 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8 hours a day, and we're scorched and torched by the sun, and we're sore from surfing big waves, and the waves we surf are as bigger than people's homes. So it's a no joke type of surfing, and everyone's kind of fried at the end of the day. So, and dealing with inflammation, and they need to recover because the next day there's another swell, and people want to be on the top of their game. So I'd make these turmeric elixirs, and people loved it, and they would rant and rave about how it tasted good, it made them feel good, and they would tell me, hey, turn this into a product. And in my mind, I was like, I'm a farmer, and I'm like the farmer that nobody knows about. I'm a cowboy. I want to be a cowboy. I want to be like John Wayne. I want to be like John Dutton of Yellowstone. I don't want to deal with the public. I don't want to. I've already been there. I've done that with like trying to be the pro surfer guy in my early 20s. I just want to. My friends are the microorganisms in the soil. My friends are the people in my inner circle. I don't need to go show the world what I have, but push came to shove. People loved it, and just the reality with being a farmer in Hawaii, when you don't own land, there's a very low ceiling. So I started adding cacao to our turmeric elixirs. My kids loved it. I told them that it was what Santa Claus drinks on the North Pole during Christmas time, and this was during Christmas time when I was putting cacao in it for my kids and getting them to drink it. And they bought it. They're like, oh, this is the best hot chocolate ever. We love it. So with that narrative, I looked at my wife. I said, this is it. This is the product that we're going to share with the world. This is how we're going to share Aina culture. You know, our relationship with land, community, God, through organic farming. This is how we're going to, this is going to be our flagship product. And we're going to take this to the world, and it's going to be something that people can taste and can feel the benefits from. And that's how we got involved in all of this. And basically a little over a year ago, I powderized 30,000 pounds of turmeric, whereas years prior, I'd be selling that raw turmeric to big companies in the organic food industry like The biggest privately owned company in the organic food industry is GT Kombucha, or Dave GT, or he also has Synergy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very popular, and
Yeah.
he would buy a lot of our turmeric. So the world was already kind of drinking our turmeric through his product, but now I'm like, let's make our own elevated product. So that's pretty much what we're up to.
So how did you get the contracts to sell your raw turmeric to those guys?
Yeah, I just honestly cold called people, emailed people. Um, Always made it a point to be a little outrageous and very authentic and very much so myself, instead of trying to be like professional, whatever that means. I want it to highlight and let people know, like, this is the best quality turmeric you can possibly get.
Yeah.
And so I just was really raw in that way, through email, through cold calling people, and was pretty persistent. And after a short period of time, I had quite a few connections and accounts, and I was able to honestly just send a couple emails a year, and 30,000 pounds of turmeric would be gone.
Wow.
Whereas now with this, it's like, this is a whole nother game. This is like a social media game. This is a D2C, direct to customer game. And it's, I'm not very experienced with the computer, with technology. This is all like a new thing for me. So it's been a steep learning curve, to be honest, and slightly painful, but also it's like anything in life. If you take somebody from the city, you put them in the jungle and tell them to go surf big waves and go climb 40-foot coconut trees, they're most likely not going to be able to do it. And if they are able to figure out how to do it, they need to be athletic, and it's going to be a steep learning curve. So I feel like that's kind of this aspect of the business right now. It's been a steep learning curve for us, but it's been good, and we're getting better every day.
Yeah, I want to go back to something you said earlier about how you first started the business with just selling the raw turmeric. And it's the way that I think a lot of folks listening today could take advantage of adhering to and following your example. And that is, when you first start out, you just got to go out and talk to people. You got to do some door knocking. You got to do some tracting. You got to meet people face to face. You can't be afraid to get out there and just go out and hustle. And that's kind of how you start. If you don't have a big budget and you're not maybe a big, marketing person, you just go out there and present yourself as to who you are. You don't want to make a false image or identity and just say, be something you're not. You're out there, you're presenting yourself, you're presenting your product, you're presenting the benefits. And just like you, the ball starts rolling. You don't always have to start up big time and do all this social media stuff at first. Just get out there and do the job. So you mentioned that one of the things that you're looking to do now is do a little bit more mass marketing with the elixir. How are you doing that? Is it social media? Are you on like some of the shopping sites or anything like that?
Yeah, so if you go to ainaculture.com, that's our online store. So essentially it's e-commerce, direct to customer. We also do some B2B. Our product does really well in holistic chiropractor practices. It does good in yoga studios. We sell to a couple, we work with a couple elevated coffee shops that appreciate kind of a more high-end healthy product. And a couple organic cafes. But yeah, we're still really small. And it's definitely, there's a lot of volume I have to push of our product to be able to make it sustainable and make it a legitimate business. So yeah, I'm still cracking that code. I'm still learning how that works. I feel like I've been semi-feral and undomesticated my whole life, especially my adult life. And just being out on the farm, good with the land, good with growing food, growing plants, hunting, fishing. At the end of the day, going to remote surf spots you have to hike into on the Big Island, and surfing where nobody's around. That's been my life, and I love that. Whereas now it's like I need to market myself and get in there with with more everyday people in society. So yeah, I mean, all the above. Social media, you know, I know we have our Instagram. You know, we started that a little over a year ago. We had like 20 followers. Now we have like 2,500 followers, which is still super micro, still mini, but it's all very organic how it's been grown.
Very, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I need to tell them how you and I first met. So, my regular listeners know that I am a prolific networker. So I really believe in networking, getting out there. So I'm a member of BNI, which is a Business Network International. Also generally fairly active in other networking groups like the Chamber of Commerce and things like that. But guys, Anthony and I first met. He came to our BNI chapter, and he was just out there hustling, you know, making contacts and meeting people and telling people about his business. So definitely networking is a great way to grow your business, especially if you're doing it in person, just getting out there belly to belly and talking to people. So that's an important way to do it. I would recommend that everybody in business, especially if you're starting out, join some type of a networking group. Get out there and meet people. Let them see you face to face. Let them see your product if you got it, and just go for it. For me, I don't believe that there is a silver bullet for anything. Like there's people say, oh, do this one thing here and you'll make a ton of money, you make a lot of sales, but there is no silver bullet. I mean, it's a blend and a combination of everything. Number one, you've got to have a good presence, a good presentation. You've got to have a good product or a good service. You got to get out there and meet people face to face, and then you've got to have a good, some type of a marketing plan and a strategy that incorporates everything that is important to people now, the way that they're shopping and learning about business, which includes digital media. You've got your website, social media. All those things are extremely important. And really what we're doing now on the radio show and the podcast, all of these things are extremely important. In my mind, you're doing everything right, especially, you know, starting out just trying to get this thing rolling along. And so I was definitely impressed when I met you, which is why I invited you to be on the show today. Oh, and I do want to tell the folks that I was talking to your wife, Anita, this past week, and she was at the farmer's market giving away samples. And I didn't have my honey to put in it because I'm kind of a honey freak. I put it in everything before I work out or something. But I just had it plain. I didn't put anything in it. And it was really good. I was watching people as they're coming to the booth. They were a little skeptical, especially in southern Utah. You know, she's going, hey, would you like to try, you know, our turmeric elixir? And they're kind of like, what? An elixir? What's in it? And the ones that were brave enough to take a taste, a sample, they all loved it. They go, oh, I was expecting it to taste like something weird, but it's really good. Yeah. So congratulations on creating a formula that actually does good things, has health benefits, and actually tastes good. So my compliments to you on that. I think that's excellent.
Yeah, I think the best way to really describe our product too is it's a turmeric cacao superfood elixir. So
I like that.
It's almost like it could be in the food and beverage space as a coffee alternative, or it could be a supplement. And some people look at it and they're like, wow, this is so medicinal and it has such good ingredients that this is a supplement. But then when they taste it and they drink it, they're like, oh, this is actually kind of like a daily ritual that you can incorporate as a coffee alternative. So I think that's kind of the uniqueness of it. But that's also an interesting time we're in right now, where a lot of coffee alternatives and let food be thy medicine. It's kind of becoming a cultural thing right now, especially in trendy places like Southern California. So yeah, it's interesting when we're in places in St. George where you have people that don't even know what turmeric is. They think it's curry. You know, they're like, you want me to drink curry? And I'm like, yeah, give it a try. You might like it. And oftentimes people taste it and they're like, wow, that's incredible. For just adding water, that's really good. But then you could doctor it up the way you do with some honey. Some people like to add a little bit of cream or milk of their choosing. Some people like to put espresso shots in it. I don't discriminate. Like, whatever floats your boat. I would say in the evening times, don't put espresso in my product, unless you want to pull an all-nighter.
That's true. So I did it before my workout, and I could tell the difference. I thought it was really good. I think my next step is I'm gonna throw some in my protein smoothie before I go to the gym. Maybe just to throw it. I've got like some vanilla protein powder. If I throw that in there, what fruit would go well with the turmeric? Like bananas or
Frozen bananas,
frozen?
phenomenal.
All right.
I actually, if you go to my Instagram, I have a video. It's over 4 minutes long. Instagram doesn't like you making long videos, but I do
Yeah.
anyway. It's called the Aina Culture $1 billion smoothie. And me and my friend Jesse Salas, who is a coach for a lot of the best athletes in the world, especially in the surf world, he's there with me making it. And my son is there too. And we're actually in Huntington Beach. We shot this like a little over a month ago. And it's pretty comprehensive. We have 18 different ingredients that we add to our elixir, and it's just all-encompassing billion-dollar superfood, adaptogenic, nootropic smoothie, and it will get you going for sure. It'll put some pep in your step and make you feel good.
I'm going to do it. So, what is your Instagram account? Where can we find you on Instagram?
Yeah, if you just type in Aina Culture.
AINA
That's right.
Culture, CULTURE. And you have a Facebook page?
We do. Yeah, same thing. It's Facebook. It's not as nearly as active as our Instagram, but
Okay.
yeah, we
But
have our Facebook as well.
same spelling, AINA Culture.
That's right.
Okay. That's real. I'm going to go out there as soon as we get done. I'm going to check out the Instagram and borrow that recipe.
Yeah, check it out. Give me a comment. Tell me what you think about it.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be great. So, Anthony, in the last minute we have remaining, do you have any final words of wisdom for us, especially for folks who may be trying to venture out on their own and start their own business? Give us one bit of advice that gets you through.
Yeah, I think you just have to have a vision you believe in. And if you really believe in it, and if you work hard, you'll make it come to fruition. And you don't need to have all the investment and all the capital and have everything figured out. You just need to start.
Right.
And I've noticed a lot of very successful entrepreneurs, that's how they get their start. That's how we got our start. And we're still starting. So yeah, believe in what you're doing. And I think what you do should be something that contributes to the world and solves people's problems and helps make the world a better place. And if you have a business that ticks those boxes, believe in it and do it and meditate about it and make it happen.
Cool. Well, Anthony, thanks a lot for being on my show today. You're a great guest, and we'll see you guys again next time on Make It Easy for People to Give You Money.
Thank you so much.
Good. 30 minutes, 0.189 seconds. I can deal with that. Let me push this button here. Got that saved. Okay, so before I push this other button, which will terminate the whole call, I'm going to just sit here for a second. So what I'm going to do, just to kind of reiterate what we talked about earlier, I'm going to mix this thing down and send everything over to the station, upload it to all the podcast channels, send you all the files, and take care of it that way. So since you're in St. George, how do I get some more of your stuff? Because I use the samples. Do you have a store that I can go to, or anybody around here sell it? Or do you have a distribution hub in St. George? I can send a pelican down there. You can tie it to its leg and send. How do I get some?
Yeah, a couple options. Seven Brothers
Oh,
in Washington,
okay.
they sell our product. I probably need to restock them pretty soon now, but they should still have, close to a dozen canisters there
Oh, okay.
for sale. There's a place called Earth Spa. It's a phenomenal contrast therapy place where
Yeah.
you can do a cold plunge, and then you can jump in the sauna, and they do red light therapy. They also retail our product. A place called True North Float retails our product. And then always our online store.
I might do that if I don't. I know Seven Brothers.
And then also you can just stop by our house and we'll hand it off to you.
Hey, well, text me your address and I'll do. I'm in Desert Color. Do you know where that is?
Yeah, yeah. So we're kind of right where Ivans, St. George, and Santa Clara all meet each other.
Oh,
We're like 5 minutes away from the Harmons in Santa Clara.
I know exactly where that. What's your address? Because I go there a lot.
Yeah. What is our address? I know my Hawaii address. I don't even know my Utah address. My poor wife. My wife has to do everything for me.
Text it to me. Text it to me after the call.
I'll text it to you. Yeah. Do you know where Digby's is?
I do.
Yeah, we're like there's a little community there across the street called Castle Rock up in the
Oh,
hill.
yeah.
We're right there in Castle Rock, and we've got all of our distribution happening out of our house.
Oh, excellent.
Tons of product.
All right. Well, just make sure your wife was okay with some stranger stopping by and knocking on your door.
No, we have people stop by all the time.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Definitely on a weekly to almost daily basis, we have people stop by.
Well, I think that's exciting. Yeah. So just text me your address and I will let you know before I come over. I will not be discourteous. Let's see. There was one other. Oh, I'm going to make some introductions for you. So today, this afternoon, I'm doing a podcast at the studio for two of my clients. They are the Wellness Warriors, and one is Dr. Justin Lane, who is he owns a elemental natural medicine. He's a Chinese medicine doctor, but he's also an MD, and he's been into the natural health and wellness and stuff like that. And his partner is a gal by the name of Miss Michelle Schroeder, and she is an autoimmunologist. And I think your stuff would be good in Nathan's doctor office. The other thing I'm going to suggest to them today is that they should have you as a guest on their podcast. So I think that'd be great because they're all into the health and wellness thing, and they'll have guests on. So you'd kind of get a double whammy out of that, give you some extra promotion. They've got a really strong podcast, which hits all of the major podcast distribution channels as well as YouTube and things like that. So I will make sure that I will give them that introduction today, and hopefully they'll get back to you sometime tomorrow. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
In the meantime, do you and your wife like music?
We do like music. Yeah.
So my band is playing October the 10th at what used to be Big Shots, which is now Crush It Golf. Well, one of my other bands, so I put a band together called the Pickup Band because some of the other members of my real band couldn't get together. One guy had surgery. You just turned yourself. There you go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. So I'll send you a flyer. You can maybe show up, bring your wife, do some dancing to some rock and roll, have a good time.
That would be really good fun.
Cool. All right. Well, I got a jam. Thank you so much. And I'll catch up with you later and text me your address. Thank you.
Okay. Sounds so good. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you.
Take care. Bye.
Okay. Bye.